makes sense. Okay. So welcome everybody, Soul Embodied Leadership or Sanctuary Planning. Here we are on September 7th, just really launching our second meeting for the planning and layout of what the Soul Embodied Sanctuary is going to look like. I'm going to go through a PowerPoint presentation that kind of describes everything in a little bit more detail, but the invitation here is for everything to happen organically, but also to keep the momentum going. So regardless of if we can see the big picture or it feels like it might be too big to envision, just focusing on what we can do right now and what needs to happen right now will increase the momentum and get us going so that the universe can draw in all the resources that we need. So I'm just going to go ahead and start the PowerPoint presentation as soon as I get my screen share going here. So I have this here is Soul Embodied Sanctuary. All right. So first of all, I'm just going to talk about what the purpose of this sanctuary is and kind of the direction that is being envisioned and why we're creating this. This is a space for intergenerational healing and community of mind, body, and spirit. So this is a physical presence because this is a time in humanity where we need to come together physically, not just with our minds, not just with our spirits, but we also need that physical presence. And I feel this very strongly, and I know a lot of other people do. So that's why I'm feeling very prompted to keep moving forward with this. And I just trust that everybody will be where they need to be at the right place at the right time. This is a place for those who have awakened spiritually and are looking for expansion. So the reason I added that is because I think it's important to have clarity and focus around what direction we're going in, why we're doing this, and then just keep that invitation for spirit to keep guiding us. So the invitation is, and this is what I've been sort of prompted to share, is that this is going to be structured like a herd of horses. And what that means is the way that we bring this together, the way that we structure the leadership, the facilitating, and the collaboration of this sanctuary is going to be like a herd of horses. Everybody in the community has a purpose. Everybody is leading in their own individual space. So whatever it is you have a gift of, it doesn't matter if it's the actual facilitation or we're just adding the energy to what it is that we're trying to accomplish together. The herd of horses, everybody takes a turn in moving things forward so that everybody is included and everybody has a purpose. So I think this is important to bring up because, again, the horses are going to be sort of like the focal point of the sanctuary. Listening with your heart. So people that are joining and people that want to move forward, this is about listening with your heart, not your mind. Our minds are there to take action once our heart communicates. So this isn't something where we're trying to figure out how and all the processes from the beginning. This is about divine inspiration and that aha moment, that feeling when it feels like a bucket of cold water got dumped on you and that gasp of air, like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is what it needs to be. And the reason why I'm inviting everybody to focus on those moments is because as we move forward and we're creating new neurological pathways, not just in our own minds, but for all of humanity, to have these spaces, not just here in Livingston County, but also wherever else we feel prompted to branch this out into. So we may not just have this in Michigan. This is an opportunity to create other spaces like this. And I feel like a lot of people that are spiritually awakened and connected have a similar message and vision to bring these spaces into the world, so that it's just a known place for people to go and receive rest and peace and healing. So listening with your heart is really crucial. This isn't going to be like anything else that we already have. This is going to be something new for this new earth reality that we're creating together. And all of our ancestors are supporting us right now. Like, I know that each and every one of you can feel this support and this push. Some of you may describe it as a pull. The amount of energy and momentum that is happening right now is going to move this forward, regardless of whether we can wrap our minds around it or not. So really focusing on those synchronicities also. So when we see the synchronicities, pay attention to what's going on in your mind. What are you thinking about? What were you processing at that time when you see those synchronicities? That is there in order to help move us forward. And, you know, this is also going to be sort of a pep talk, because this big of a vision is going to require everyone to come together and to trust what this is going to look like. So looking for those repeating numbers, rainbows, whatever you use to help guide you and move forward, whatever you use to read or channel from spirit, just really tune into that self-awareness so that you can see what it is that's prompting you to move forward and take that next step. So we're coming together as a team, as a herd of horses, and this process is going to continue to unfold organically, and we will just be able to see what resonates with inside of us, but also be open to understand other people's perspectives and what it is they're trying to say and communicate, because everybody's input matters here. And I want everyone to understand that. So setting your personal intention and what your contribution is going to be is crucial, because having an intention around why you're participating is going to set the tone for everything involved in this sanctuary. So making sure that you're setting that intention, writing it down. You can send it forward to me and I can add it onto the roles and responsibilities. That can be an additional section in your own, whatever you guys have already put together for me. I'll just add that in. Go ahead and send me emails of ideas. It doesn't matter what it is. It's relevant, and there's a piece to the puzzle that this is filling in. So just trust that. Again, everyone has a purpose and is welcome. If somebody crosses your mind and you think that they may play a role in this, or you've heard somebody mention something similar, it's time to draw this together and move forward with it. We are moving forward with it. There's enough of us to make this happen. So now it's just about the processes and taking the physical action as if it's already happened. The only requirement that I have from people to participate is to just have that openness and the integrity around it. I don't doubt that everybody that comes into this is going to have that anyway. I'm just saying that as an invitation for you guys when you are seeking others out to draw in and to, join this cause. So what's my role here? My role is to be a mirror and to amplify the light workers. I'm being prompted to create this space, but this space isn't for me. I mean, it's for all of us. It's not just for one individual person. This is what New Earth looks like. Everybody has a role. Everybody has input. Everybody has something important energetically to offer. And I want to mirror and amplify what that looks like from a place of unconditional love and divine channeling. So this space is going to be put together with collective input and guidance. It's not just going to be my idea. It's going to be everybody's collaboration. Everybody's whatever comes together collectively. So that's why I keep inviting you guys to send me those emails as the ball gets rolling. And everything is going to continue to evolve organically. So what we think might happen may not happen the way that we think it's going to. So it's important that we keep our minds open enough to shift and expand based off of divine guidance. So I'm here to stimulate focus and clarity and keep the momentum going. So I'm going to challenge everyone to step up and trust their hearts. I'm going to challenge everybody to have the courage to believe that this is possible and to not play small here. We need this space, and everybody was prompted to be here for a reason. And that's what my natural gift is an encourager and to coach people through their fears. And so each one of us is a component of the engine, and I'm just steering the vehicle. I'm steering the vehicle based off of what each and every one of you is contributing, what each and every one of you is sharing with me. I can see the big picture based off of what everybody is bringing to the table, and I can see how the pieces fit together. So not worrying about what you can't do, but focusing on what you can do. That's what my request is from each one of you. So regardless of what your role is, sharing it with me and other people that you know are going to be able to see this vision and encourage it to its completion is really crucial. You know, holding it in your heart and not sharing it with the naysayers, the people that you already know, and we can feel that inside of our bodies. People that you know may not want to believe in the possibility of it. Holding that near and dear to your heart until it's time, waiting for that divine timing. I'm going to continue to move forward and trust that everything will come together in divine timing. So I'm going to keep doing all of the things that I would normally be doing to help this roll out. And I'm just going to trust that you guys are making room and making space for this in your reality as well, or you wouldn't have been drawn here. You wouldn't have reached out to me. So I'm just trusting in that. This right here is a sketch of the layout of what the Wellness Center is sort of going to look like. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. I just kind of want to give you guys a visual of the size and the how big this is. It is big. There's going to be lodging. There's going to be a lot of components to help this incorporate everything that everyone's bringing to the table. But the really beautiful and inspiring thing is, no matter how many people externally have come to me, this drawing encompasses everything that everybody has come to me expressing that needs to be here. So I know that it's true. There's enough people, there's been enough mirrors for me to see that this is exactly what we need to have. So the layout, it's going to be community-based, meaning everybody is welcome here. But I don't know the details of how the processes will fall into place with that yet. But there is a role or position for everyone who wants to participate. Obviously, the horses will be there for mirrors and reflection, and also for the equine guided learning, so that we can all learn more about ourselves, increase our self-awareness, and also receive feedback if we're making a major decision and we need clarity around it. Doing activities with the horses can really bring out and draw out what we can't see energetically. They will bring it forth physically for us to see. There will be a nutrition wing, a wing that has access to a kitchen, and this is a commercial-sized kitchen, so that there can be cooking classes, meal prep, and such there. We're going to have a garden so that can coordinate with the nutrition wing. I mean, it only makes sense. So that we can also provide juicing and other things for the retreats that we'll be holding here. There's plenty of room for people that are health coaches or understand nutrition in the body, but also spirit as well, because all of those things play a major role. So the gift may be nutrition, but there's got to be an understanding of how everything connects and melds together. Next is the health wing. So when I say health wing, this is a place for a lab to be located if we want to be able to study things more in depth and get more answers, so that we can see maybe there's hormones out of balance and we can get deeper answers. Everything's right on the facility. Homeopathy, naturopaths, Ayurvedic, just all of the things that deal with the body. Next is, I'll call it an energy wing. Also, everything that I'm putting out here, I'm completely open to changing the terminology of what I'm describing here. This is just coming forth. I'm channeling my understanding, but I'm very open, because that's my job, is to be open to whatever you guys are divinely inspired to shift. So taking hold of a wing in itself, or taking hold of helping the animals, or whatever you feel guided towards, I'm an open vessel to facilitate that energy. That's what I'm here for. The energy, speaking of energy, the energy wing looks like yoga, meditation, Reiki, massage, craniosacral, reflexology, acupuncture. All of these things, again, are just a few of what could be offered in these wings. And the reason I'm listing them out individually is to get people's imaginations flowing and to get them dreaming bigger and envisioning what this really is going to look like. You know, what people are in your current reality that you can share this vision with, people that would fit any of these roles to help move this forward. Because when we do get the location to where we are going to start building, I want to make sure all of the people are in place in their mind, body, and spirit to help move this forward, so that we can keep the momentum going and hit the ground running. There's a very strong need for this in the community, and there's enough people that have reached out for healing. I've been watching for years, and there's just an influx of people that need this right now. And this is a gift for us to be able to share what we came here to do. We're here to share our soul purpose and our spiritual gifts. So for us to be able to follow our passion and follow our hearts, this is the space to do it and to expand in. There's also going to be an exercise wing. So things like cardio drumming, dancing, and anything else that you can think of. I obviously lost my train of thought there while I was typing that out. So if you guys have any other, feedback on what needs to be in that space, that would be great. Each wing is going to have rentable classrooms, and that means intergenerational classrooms. It doesn't just mean it's going to pertain to one of those things. So you guys are leading these classes or leading whatever, but also I know that what goes hand in hand with that are people that want to step into that space and be able to learn what you're doing. Maybe they feel led to do this also. And everybody brings something different to the table. So there is no competition here. Everyone's going to be drawn to something different. And we need to be able to really embrace that so that we can move forward in this new earth reality and what a community really looks like when everybody's sharing, everybody's teaching, everybody's learning together. And there's just endless opportunities for that. Some of the other things that will be offered there: art therapy, sound therapy, obviously the soul embodiment. That's what I'm being led to lead. Access consciousness. These are just other things that were thrown out that would fit into any of the wings. It could be also individual buildings outside of the main campus. It's just whatever we're feeling led to do, that's what we need to follow through with. Obviously being with nature, so the animals. It's not just about the horses. That's my primary understanding and gift, so that's why I talk about the horses so much, but understanding that I'm open and this space is open for whatever people are feeling led to bring into, as long as it's divinely inspired. And it's not necessarily, it's not going to be an animal rescue facility or anything like that. I'm open to suggestions around that. I know that some of you have that placed on your heart. I just don't know how it would fit in. Not that I'm open to that. It's just not something that I am gifted in working and reaching out to. Maybe the healing that the people coming to the facility end up getting will create enough people to be able to move through with something like that. But also the vegetation and being with plants, hiking, walking, swimming, everything nature, everything outside, everything outdoors, and connecting with the fresh air and things like that. There will be renewable energy and self-sufficient infrastructure. I'm not going to get into that really deeply, but I am inviting anybody that has resources in regards to this. Please send them my way, especially if they understand the vision of what we're doing. It doesn't matter if they're in Michigan or another state. I'm just looking and asking the universe to send people my way to help sort of lead this part of it. Also, a cafeteria / restaurant that will be on site. Before I go further, I do want to just share with you guys, I have went and looked at a property, and I feel very strongly that this either is the place that we're meant to have, or it was just giving me an idea of the type of layout that we need in order to do what it is that we need to do. It literally had everything that I'm laying out here, and then I went and saw it physically. So I don't know if they're open to sell this land or not, which I know and trust that I'm saying these things, but it doesn't really matter what I think. The universe will provide whatever needs to happen. I'm going through the motions again, even with that, to see if that's an option. If it's not, great. That's a closed door, and we'll move on to what we do need to have. But I just wanted to let you know that. So not only is this vision something for us to understand as far as something coming into fruition, I've seen this physically, and I know that how it will work. So we aren't that far away from it. Library, somebody mentioned that they envisioned a library with resources and opportunities for people that are writing. There's a lot of authors here in this group, and I want everybody to have that opportunity if that's what they feel led to do. Words are very important, and the structure of our words, it's everything that we say and we do is a vibration, and these words are important. So the library is going to be an important resource for healing. This is also going to be an open space for learning and mentorship. I'll get into that a little bit more later. And then also understanding that we are creating our own positions. There's not going to be, we can understand based off of the way that our society runs now, what those positions will look like, but realizing that we are creating something new. So what we see and what we create and what we do is only going to be a fraction of the expansion that is going to happen inside of us once this space is physically manifested. And this is something that I have this is what's driving me right now, is that everybody gets to follow their passions and they have a space to do it in. So understanding that this is my main passion and drive, is allowing everybody that space to create their own positions. And that can seem intimidating and scary, but that's what I'm here for. I'm here to encourage each and every one of you in courage. I'm giving you the courage because I'm here. We're all here together, and this is happening. So envisioning whatever a perfect position would look like. It's not going to be one thing. It's going to be multiple things. There isn't no such thing as one career. There is one focus as things expand. But when I got into what I'm doing, I followed my heart. My heart was horses. And here I am now, years later, and this wellness center for people. You know, when you follow your heart by, you know, listening to that divine inspiration and what drives you, the position creates itself. So just trusting that and understanding that that's what this is about. This property will have crystal gridding. Crystals really help raise the vibrations, and there will be many spaces for that. I'm not going to get into the details of crystal gridding. If you have questions about it, I can forward your information onto one of our incredible team members who is going to be heading this up, whether she realizes it or not. She does realize it. I know she does. Okay, so there will also be an auditorium for conferences and inspirational gatherings. Now, when I say inspirational gatherings, I'm envisioning a space where people, the community, can come, you know, once a week or once a month or whatever it looks like, to receive uplifting messages and support for their spiritual expansion. So also, last but not least, I think it's last, a lake or water source. So moving on to healing. The healing there will be energy work, crystals, herbs and minerals, the elements of fire, water, earth, wind, and energy. So all of these things play a role in our healing, not just in our bodies, but also the planet. We will be partnering with animals, plants, and people for our healing. There's a strong need for healing in the community. And when I say strong need for healing in the community, it's those divine unions that I talk about in relationships, keeping our hearts open and our egos out of it, observing our ego while our spirit takes charge, living from our heart space and allowing things to unfold organically, not forcing it, inviting it. So the community synchronicity and support is crucial, and we're going to be leading at the forefront. So that's why this foundation is so important, and that's why we're taking these necessary steps to move forward. Respecting and honoring the planet and her resources. So whatever that looks like, that just came through as I was creating this PowerPoint. I just put down whatever was coming in. So we can get into details of all of this later. If any of you guys feel prompted to expand on any of these things that are in this PowerPoint, please do so by writing and emailing. All right, so intergenerational learning. This is something that I feel very strongly pulled towards, and that this also has to do with everyone following their passion and creating a space for it. And the reason why the healing and the intergenerational learning go hand in hand is because sometimes I feel that we could have a lot more power if everybody was teaching from their heart space and had the support to do that. So people of all ages can mentor in various environments and on every level. So what does that look like? It can be anything from woodworking to sewing, from energy work to healing. It doesn't matter what it is. There's going to be somebody to pass it down to, and we can honor that. The elders, and an elder does not necessarily always mean somebody that is elderly. It can be somebody that has the divine wisdom and the experience to be able to share that. And it can be on every level. There's multiple layers of divine wisdom that we receive. And in each layer, there's an opportunity to teach and pass this down energetically. The energy exchange can happen for the entire community when there's something like that. And there's also people who want to support the people teaching. Maybe they don't want to teach it themselves, but maybe they enjoy supporting, or maybe they enjoy just watching and learning and observing until they're ready to be a teacher. Excuse me. Retreats and classes. This is open to anyone who wants to design their own course, class, retreat, from divine inspiration. So when we talk about open to anyone, I want to make sure that everyone understands that it's going to be through divine inspiration. This isn't just a retreat center. I want to honor the space. So the people that come into it, that are creating these classes and retreats, somebody will be interviewing them. I don't know who is going to be interviewing them, but I'm sure the message and the energy that we're putting out will be enough to draw in the people that will resonate with this. If there are people that don't resonate with it, that's okay. The universe always provides. So speaking of providing, the sanctuary will provide a space, resources, meaning people to help facilitate the retreat, people to help coordinate the clientele. There will already be a following of people, or I don't really like using the word following, but that's what's coming up right now. So clientele, people that will support the retreat and the classes. So basically, the functions and everything will be in place for intake and whatnot, and that way it opens up and frees up energy and time so that the people that want to do the designing can just focus on the design and they don't have to worry about all of the other details. The reason I'm doing that is because I know there's a lot of visionaries out there that don't really know how to run a business, and this is the business side of things, to give space to the visionaries so that they can just do what they do best. Research. This is also something that is heavily placed inside of my heart. I know I talk about this a lot, but our DNA is shifting, it's lengthening, it's expanding. And I would love to be able to provide research on how energy and intention shifts that. Not only that, I'd like to have more research for the horses being conduits and healers. Also, any other animals, if somebody wants to lead that whole thing up, that's fine. This is just what my gift is in, and so this is what I will really be focusing on putting together. How we create a reality with words, thoughts, and intentions. I think that providing people that are a little bit more analytical with some proofs and some affirmations can sometimes be the one thing that they needed. And, having it written, like we all know this and we all are remembering, but to have it written down as words, that's powerful because of the vibrations that come from it. So that's where this research comes in. How we heal our mind, body, and spirit through expanding awareness. All of these things, again, I'm not going to get really deep into it, but this is also where the lab comes in and some of the other things I've mentioned. This piece right here is really important. All of these pieces are important, but if anybody knows anyone that would be interested in participating long distance with this stuff, that's also a potential role for people. Speaking of roles, roles and responsibilities, understanding that everybody is going to be leading from every direction. There isn't one leader. I might be the one focusing on the direction that we're going in, but everybody's going to be leading from their heart space, and everybody's going to be doing what they are being guided to do. And I'm going to support you in that. I'm going to encourage you to follow those promptings, because I don't know what Spirit's communicating to you. I don't know where Spirit's going to lead you. And I don't need to know, because I trust it. I know based off of my journey, the magic that happens when you follow it. So I don't need to know all the details. There will be support from every angle. There's not just leading from every direction, but there's support from every angle. The universe is going to support us. Our ancestors, people physically will come in when we start moving forward, and we just trust it, and we make the space and time for it in our reality. As soon as that happens, even if we don't know what we're supposed to be doing, if we carve out time once a week, once a day, whatever you feel prompted to do, the more space and time we create for this to happen, it will happen. That's just that's just how it goes. It's reality. We are all going to be mirrors for inspiration and amplification. We're all mirroring each other. We're all amplifying each other. All of the words I'm speaking, you're all ready to hear, or you wouldn't be on this call. So you came here to hear this, and I'm mirroring for you, and you're mirroring for me by being here. Openness to receive from the divine through others. This is a really big, important, key particle to the manifesting of this. We all really have to be mindful and open to receive those messages. None of us knows it all. A couple of years ago, one of my beautiful mentors told me that I needed to use my know-it-all attitude, I need to use it, and I need to lose my know-it-all attitude. So I started trying to understand what it was that I needed to receive from that message, and realizing that I was being really resistant to some of the messages that the Spirit was trying to show me, but I was really living from ego and being resistant to that message, or thinking to myself that I already knew this, or not thinking that someone was credible. I mean, who's credible? Like, if Spirit puts somebody in your path and they share something with you, it's for a reason. And listen up. Whether it triggers you and provides you a release that doesn't need to be in your reality anymore, or it provides you with wisdom. Either way, it's two sides of the same coin. When the release happens, the wisdom comes in. So allow that release to happen and allow for that message to come in, because that's how this is going to happen, is by trusting the process and moving forward with divine action. Having the honesty and courage to follow your heart's promptings. If somebody shares something with you and you feel, resistant to it, you can come talk to me and I will help you process, because this is all about having the courage to listen, having the courage to hear what other people want to say to you. And that doesn't mean we open ourselves up to, accept that, but having the courage and the honesty with ourselves to shift our perspective enough to understand what that person sees or what they're trying to communicate. Or, again, is it something that we just are testing and strengthening our spirit in? Because if you already know that you healed from something and somebody is living in an old programming or old reality, then our job at that point is to be strong in spirit and remain at peace, so that that person can see that, no, that isn't the reality anymore, or whatever. That's just, I don't need to get too deep into that, but I think it's important that I share that right now, because as we move forward, things intensify as we expand. Things get more uncomfortable because we're slipping into a reality that we are creating. So that means our physiology is going to change. Our neurological pathways are going to be ignited in ways that we can't think of right now. So having the courage to keep moving through this, reach out to me if you feel stuck. Like, that's what I'm here for. Continuing forward, I'm just going to click all of these. So different roles. There's caretaking opportunities for practitioners, facilitators, directors, organizers, researchers, and the list goes on. Again, creating your own. These are just a few of them, and realizing that these are words that our society came up with, and we can create whatever we want, because this is our reality, this is our sanctuary, and we can do whatever we feel led to do. The processes. There will be somebody that I am not just me, everybody. We're going to need someone who can do intake and interviewing, to kind of scan phone calls and emails or whatever to see if it resonates with them to be at our facility. There will be memberships and also co-op and volunteer participation. So it's not just going to be like, some people don't want to volunteer. Some people just want to have a membership, and that's fine. Everybody is welcome. Everybody along this path, and we'll figure out how to make it work. I'm never afraid of that. Everything will just work out, because it always does when we're open to receive the guidance. The scheduling and facilitating of events, classes, whatever. caretaking of the property and the animals, coordination of events and planning, and then also marketing and collaboration. So if there's somebody that is really feeling led to get out there in the community, that's something that I'm taking the lead on, obviously. If anybody wants to join me, I am open and willing to, invite you in to whatever I'm already doing. And in addition, if there's something that you're feeling led to do, just share that with me and just keep me in the loop. So resources, I'm sort of seeing the family counseling and coaching. And it doesn't matter, everybody has family. It doesn't matter if it's our direct or indirect family. Pre-birth support and postpartum support, and then meal trains through transitions. Families need support. That's what this is about, community and support. So the healing will allow for these people that are going through transitions in their spiritual awakening to have somewhere to go for resources. There needs to be more than what we have. And I've worked with enough of the people in the community through the government. So I am planning on also including them and sharing with them what it is that we're going to be doing. I have a lot of contacts because of the nonprofit work I did before this. So I just feel very strongly that this is going to be playing a major role in how we move forward. Childcare. Childcare is important because parents that need the counseling and support and everything can't get it because a lot of the time they don't have somewhere for their kids to go. And the childcare isn't just going to be daycare. It's going to be an experience, experiential learning, and giving them the opportunity to experience joy here while their parents are healing. Again, homeschooling, experiential learning space. Livingston County has a very large group of people, and actually the surrounding areas that are homeschooling and feeling led to homeschool. And this will give an opportunity for the parents that are doing the homeschooling, if they want to teach a class, they feel led towards it. And a lot of the times it's the stay-at-home moms or dads that are doing the homeschooling, and this will allow for them to expand into their gifts and also share while still getting to do the schooling with their kids, and they're not taking on a full-time job. They can do an hour a week or whatever they want to do in exchange for this learning space. Obviously, spiritual awakening guidance on every level. All right, so things to think about. We are creating these experiences where people have the opportunity to respond joyfully. And the more joy and the more opportunities people have, obviously the higher the vibrations are going to be. The higher people's vibrations are on the property, the more people we will just draw towards us naturally. People feel those vibrations. We respond to it whether we realize it or not. And understanding that just because we're creating that opportunity doesn't mean we're responsible for those people experiencing it. And I have a lot of support and guidance and resource around that. So we can get into that if people, need to. There's a place for everyone. I can find it with a willing and trusting participant. If somebody hears about this wellness center and they're very excited about it, send them my way. I can talk to people, interview them, and I just have divine questioning that comes in while I'm talking, and I can typically draw out where this person is going to fit in. Because even if somebody doesn't know where and they're just watching and observing as it unfolds, that is still added energy to our cause. So have courage to trust in sharing these people and sharing this message with them. We're here to allow this to unfold organically with intention and divinely inspired action. So it isn't just about setting the intention and then just sitting around and watching it happen. We actually have to take action. We have to write things down. We have to start the planning and acting as if it's already here. I mean, if I told you guys, I already have a location and the building is built and complete, what would you do? What would you do tomorrow if I said, all right, let's open up your class? What's your class going to look like? Who's your target client? Who's your ideal client? Not just your target, but your ideal person that you want to work with. Because everybody is going to be drawn to somebody different energetically, and we just have to trust that. So it's okay if you work with the people that you love to work with. The other people will have a different mentor, and that's okay, because this allows everybody to experience their gifts. The time is now. I say this all the time, but this is the time. We don't have to wait for someday. You know, we don't have to wait for, well, when this happens. Well, if we keep saying, well, when this happens, then we're just going to, we just are pushing away the guidance that the divine is trying to give to us. So trust that the time is now, and just start taking those baby steps forward, and the divine will guide you. That your heart will pull you towards what you came here to do. This will manifest as fast as we all believe it is possible and take action. So we believe in it, and we know that it's true. We feel it in our heart. We feel that energy surging through our bodies when we think about it. But we have to take action. We can't just think and daydream about it. We actually have to start making the momentum physical. So energetically, it's already there. We've all put our belief in our heart and our inspirational messages to the universe of what this is going to look like. So now we need to move forward and take the actions and the steps, and not get overwhelmed with how big it feels. Again, I said this several times already, but send any suggestions, people, planning my way as I'm compiling everything, and all things are relevant. Everything you guys send me, I have a document on Google Drive. Any of you are welcome to check that out. It's pretty scattered right now. This PowerPoint actually has everything compiled really well, but I just cut and paste everything in there, and I'm kind of organizing it in Google Drive so that everybody's input is being accounted for. This is about trusting the process. So this isn't just about building a facility. This is about trusting the process and what it looks like when so many people that are divinely inspired come together, and what we can create together. And knowing and understanding that this is the next step for humanity, creating and coexisting in a space that is divinely inspired. Because this is what we've all been dreaming of, and I know it. I can feel it in my heart, because I wouldn't be given these messages if it wasn't true. So I know that each and every one of you see this a little bit different from your perspectives, but I also know that each and every one of you are growing and expanding through this process, and it's just about trusting it and believing in all the possibilities. Just because you can't see how it's going to work, that doesn't matter. The divine will make it work. The divine will provide us with the stepping stones. So just moving forward, keeping going. Speaking of stepping stones, just so you guys know, I just typed this out from Spirit, and I didn't memorize any of this. This is just what happens when you're in the flow of energy. And I'm sharing that with you because I want you to understand that this is what it looks like when divine inspiration has taken hold of you and moved you forward. And I'm sure all of you have experienced it at some point, but now you're seeing it physically. So just things line up, one thing after the other. You say something, and then the next step falls into place. So come up with a plan. What's your plan? I have a plan. I know what I'm doing. I'm doing it. So what is yours? And like I said, I'm gonna challenge everybody to think of this and to invite you to dream, because we didn't get connected. We didn't come into each other's reality for no reason. I am a doer, and this is going to happen. And I'm talking to each and every one of you. You are here for a reason. Energetically, you are in a human body, and you have a contribution. And I will figure out what that is. Just believe in the possibilities and have the courage to trust it. And whatever that plan is, we will develop it, and it will evolve organically. Envision that it is already here. Again, the time is right now. What if tomorrow we were opening our doors? What would that look like? What would we need to have in place? What other people need to be a part of this? And I don't say need in a way where it's forced, but need in a way where they've come into your awareness. I've had so many people say, oh, I know so-and-so who's talked about something similar. Well, start reaching out. This is about networking and drawing as many people into this vision as the divine is leading into our reality. If you're aware of somebody, there's a reason for it, and understand what that is and dive into it a little bit deeper. Because the more people that we have physically moving forward, the easier it's going to be to keep the momentum going. And again, it's about the physical momentum. We already energetically have done it. It's already there. I know you all can feel that. That's why, again, why you're here. You can feel the momentum. You can feel it unfolding while I'm talking, and we're going through this PowerPoint presentation. Everybody is involved on a soul level. That means we all are doing this together, and it's going to grow and expand in ways we can't even imagine. So the physical action is what's next. And here we go. Set daily intentions and take those actions. So what's your intention? Why are you participating in this? What's your why? And I always look over here because this is where I have a whole wall of all my affirmations. And I'm going to invite each one of you guys to start writing your affirmations down and putting them on your walls or on a vision board or whatever you need to do, because the more we take action, even with little things like that, it's the smallest actions that we're taking in our daily routine that draws this stuff in. So we take a small action by creating a vision board, and that tells the universe that we're doing something physical right now. And that's why these little things are important. And this is only as big as we want it to be. Don't get overwhelmed. Just stay focused. And we don't have to move forward until we know what it is that we need to do. So while I'm inviting you all to take action, sometimes taking action is just asking the question to the universe, all right, what's my next step in this process? That doesn't necessarily mean that we run out there and we start buying 2x4s and trying to build something. It could just mean we're opening ourselves up to receive the message from divine inspiration. We don't want to take action out of ego, because that can push us further away from completion. What we're doing is we're inviting the guidance from the divine, and sometimes that just means resting. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm a go-getter, and a lot of the time I push, and I can burn myself out. Thankfully, I'm in complete balance at this, space in my life. But in the past, I would burn myself out until I got sick. And because that was the only time that I would give myself permission to rest, is when I was sick. We don't need to do that. That's ridiculous. There's enough people, and there's enough space, and there's enough time if we just allow it to happen organically and we have the courage to stay focused. And again, we don't need to get overwhelmed, because there's plenty of us. This is just going to unfold beautifully. So, and when we set the dates and we set the times and we set the intentions, we don't know how it's going to unfold. I just put this together at 11 o'clock before we met, and just things come through when it's time. If it's not time yet, then there isn't a message, and we just go about our regular scheduled programming. And then when we move forward, we do it from divine inspiration. Envision that it's already here. I think I already... Okay, so 5, 10, and 20-year vision. I'm just throwing this out here because this is here to stay. This isn't a fly-by-night wellness center. This is a sanctuary that is not only going to grow organically over the next 5 years as it's built and acquired and people are drawn in. In my mind, a 10 and 20-year vision look like this being expanded out into other areas of wherever the divine asks us to expand it into. So understanding that this is something long-term, and when we look at what is going to happen long-term, I mean, for me, it helps us figure out a clear vision of why the foundation and the stepping stones now are so important. We're doing this on a big scale because this isn't going to be the only one. There will be more. And also it creates a space for all of us to travel and to be in locations wherever we're led. We can hold these retreats and move around the country or the world wherever we want to, and we can expect to have a similar feel energetically in these spaces. So understanding that that's my future vision, and I know others of you have mentioned this too, really listening for the guidance and the divine inspiration. Again, don't take steps forward unless you have that divine inspiration. Just inviting and having the openness to receive. That's all this is about. A potential property. I am just going to invite all of you guys to really meditate or focus your intention on this potential property. I, again, have reached out to one that I feel we were led to for a reason. If that isn't the one, then it's going to be something better, because the divine gives us what we seek or something better, never anything less. So just really focusing your energy and intention on that would be tremendously helpful on my side. That's my one request for what you guys are doing here. Fundraising and investors, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that right now. I have some ideas. I've had some suggestions around this. This can just be something that's in your awareness for the universe to show you. If you want to share things with me, that would be great. And then last of all, actually this isn't last, I don't think, but maybe it is. I don't remember how many slides I put together, but pitch Livingston. So there is an opportunity. I'm likely going to use this PowerPoint or something similar when I go to start presenting what it is that we're doing and what the vision is and why we're doing what we're doing. I'll add a little bit more because I know that there's a bridge of understanding that needs to happen in some aspects that I can add into here that I didn't need to add for you guys, because I know that you guys already understand a lot of this. But basically what Pitch Livingston is, there's 5 people, and I'm supposed to find out by tomorrow if we were one of the 5 people that got selected to share a business for investors to invest in what it is that we're doing. But regardless of if this specific thing ends up coming to fruition or not, just asking that you guys send some love and light my way as I start to reach out and people are asking questions about what we're doing. I have been getting out in the community and really talking about it to the right people. And, you know, there really isn't a right or wrong, but I also don't want people looking at me cross-eyed when I talk to them about something. So I don't waste my energy in spaces that I can really save that divine channeling, you know, to people that really are ready to hear it. So just sending some love and light around that as I start to present this to people in the community. And last of all, open for discussion. If anybody wants to talk at this point, if anybody has questions, if anybody feels like they just drank out of a fire hose, whatever, you can unmute yourself and kind of, I guess, open the floor for what anybody wants to contribute to this. And I'm not going to call on anybody. I sometimes do that, but I'm not going to right now. And I don't really have anybody on video, so I can't see if anyone's raising their hand. So if anybody wants to speak, go ahead and do that now.
Hey, Bridget, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Yeah, I'm on Maria's computer. I turned mine off because you're in stereo for a while.
Okay.
Just listening to what you're saying, and you've obviously done a good job of compiling your thoughts and organizing them and presenting them. Have you given any consideration to maybe doing a TED Talk? Because you seem quite comfortable speaking in front of other people, even though right now it's on, you know, video conferencing, but.
Oh, yeah. I am very open to anybody that wants to help me organize something like that. I feel very comfortable speaking in front of people. I love speaking in front of other people. So if anybody feels prompted, and you're literally, I would imagine at least 15 people have suggested I do this. So obviously, speaking of listening to the universe, I am open, and I feel like most likely the time is now. If anybody has resources for that to help me move forward with that, I would be completely open to it.
We can look into that. I don't know anybody personally, but we can look into that.
Okay, yeah. If you guys have any,
I'm just thinking of ways that you can potentially reach more people than, via Zoom.
yeah.
Have you done a YouTube video of this yet? Are you going to turn this into a YouTube video?
This one?
Yes.
I could. I mean, I don't see why not. There's no reason why I can't.
I mean, that's just a suggestion also, since you've already done it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely, this video is being recorded, and I'm going to save it and forward it on to, my plan is to forward this on to anybody who is interested in the development of the facility. And so I do have resources for that, and I plan on forwarding it on, and then possibly, I guess, sharing it on the YouTube channel. I have a channel for YouTube and also Google. So if everybody thinks that feels right, then I think it would be a really good idea to do that.
Well, I'll be honest, I'm not the best at self-promoting. That's never been what my interest was in being an architect, but I just think in terms of, getting exposure to the concept, I think that could be beneficial.
I absolutely, and like I said, I am completely open to any and all suggestions, because I know that we were all brought together so that we can all help each other.
Because if you make it a YouTube video, then I can share it on my page, and Marie can share it on hers, and vice versa.
Perfect. Yes, I will do that then. I will.
Good stuff.
Thank you for that, you guys. All right. Anybody else? I see Jennifer piped in. She thinks it's amazing. She's excited for this to evolve. I'm also excited for it to evolve. And I know that there were at least, I guess, close to 30 people that responded in wanting to participate in the call and have this forwarded onto them. So that having this and having everybody's input right now will be really powerful to, move forward and share. Anybody else?
Can you tell us a little bit more about the land? Because one thing Maria was mentioned when you were talking about it, she said, in terms of meditating on it, it might be helpful to at least know what the land looks like.
Again, with the land, it's going to depend on the location that I have reached out to somebody, like I said. So really that part of it, I'm not going to be able to give answers to until we have an actual solid location.
Okay.
But I mean, the majority of the majority of the land here, because I know you guys aren't from here, Michigan has, the most amount of lakes out of really any state that I can think of. So there's typically always a lake or a pond or something, and there's always, plenty of trees and wooded areas, as well as some open space for, whatever, gathering, bonfires, hiking, whatever. Yeah,
I remember flying over and going to Green Bay, Wisconsin one time. Yeah, and it was like wall-to-wall small lakes. Yeah.
Yes.
I remember that part very well. Yeah.
Also want to add that I have contacted a builder who understands the vision of wellness centers and has actually built several. And I wanted to get a little bit more clarity around what we were doing. Now that I have the PowerPoint down, that's helpful. But I did want to let you know that that is another component that has been added into everything. So we do have an understanding of where we're going. We just really need to pull everybody together and get on the same page.
What size wellness centers has he built to date, Bridget?
Again, I need to meet with him privately, so I will hopefully be able to do that. Now that I have completed this call, I feel like a little bit firmer ground to be able to actually meet with him. And again, I reached out to see if this facility if it's even an option for us to purchase or not.
Okay.
Is Maria on the call?
You're talking. Maria was asking if the other Maria was on the call.
Oh, she is not. I think she had to work today.
Okay.
But she's really been, well, so what's happening right now is everybody has been dreaming of this for so long that now that it's actually happening, everyone's sort of catching up with it in their own awareness. But I'm just moving forward because I know that once everything gets to where it needs to be, everyone will have integrated and caught up with this actually manifesting. Because sometimes it takes a little bit to realize that what we've been asking for is happening.
Yes, I'm well aware of that part. Yeah. I'm a few years ahead of you down the road, but yeah, the dreams do happen. Once you visualize them, they just happen in their own time.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Is there anybody else? I don't want to unmute anybody and just call on them, but I mean, if anybody wants to add, I'll give another couple minutes here and then we can just wrap it up.
Well, obviously, I mean, you're talking to us about architecture, but the other people on the call right now, what is their involvement? What talents do they bring? And, just curious about the other people that are interested, knowing a little bit more about, who they are and, what their interests are and that type of thing.
Well,
like I said, obviously our interest is the architecture, helping you with that. So.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if Jennifer or Sarah wants to talk, you can. Otherwise, again, these guys already did type up their what they feel their role and responsibility will be, and it is in the Google Drive. So if they, I mean, it's up to them if they want to share.
Hey, Bridget, and I'm not sure who was just talking. I know you're off Maria's computer. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so this is Sarah. I was going to stay quiet, but I suppose being prompted to speak up a little bit. I got into this thing because yoga drives my life. It has changed exponentially, and through yoga, I have just felt spirit move through my body. And I started with some experiences down in Peru working with the shaman. And so, Bridget, when you talked about the elements today, everything inside of my body just lit up on teaching how to work with the elements to facilitate our healing. And I think that's the place that I kind of see myself stepping into with this role, is just helping to facilitate the healing arts and working with the Zen space with the yoga and the meditation and Reiki and just any different form of energetic flow throughout the body. That's where my passion lies, is in teaching and helping people learn to feel that in their bodies. And that's where I'm at with all that.
I love it. And I'm really glad that you did hop on and speak up, because I'm seeing that, especially with where you see yourself fitting in, doing a lot more speaking about this, I think is on your horizon.
Throat chakra, throat chakra, throat chakra.
And
I have a question for Sarah.
hmm
Do you meditate next to running water?
When I can, I do.
Well, I'm asking because of your photo, because when I was younger, in my 20s, I used to go up into the mountains and do that a good bit.
Yeah, I've definitely had a calling to the mountains a time or two. That picture's from a trip to Colorado. And when I can see by running water, absolutely. Where I live, I don't have access to that daily, but you just kind of brought up a dream and a vision that I had at one point in time. So maybe it'll be a fountain in my room at some point now, but thank you for that.
Well, I mean, so far with the Soul Embodiment Center, visually, we've only dealt with kind of a still lake. We haven't really dealt with moving water in terms of natural moving water, in terms of streams or waterfalls or anything. And I don't know, Bridget, if any of the properties you have looked at have running water on them, creeks, rivers, falling water, waterfalls, anything like that.
we don't have a whole lot of waterfalls here, but there are plenty of rivers for sure.
And how about
on that note, sorry.
But go ahead, Sarah. What?
Just on that note, when it comes to envisioning the Zen space, the Zen room, the yoga facility, I'm constantly seeing and trying to figure out how to bring waterfall-like feel into the yoga room, to have some sort of live fountain within the room. So you have that constant sound of running water. That's something that's been huge to me in that envision. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There absolutely will be running water inside of the facility in multiple places.
Like a water wall.
Yes, a water wall. That's exactly what I was seeing in my mind.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for opening the space to speak that. Thank you for kind of asking somebody else to speak, because it was nice to use my voice in this moment. Thank you for putting together this whole presentation, Bridget. And I definitely will be sending light and all of that for the Livingston meeting tomorrow.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Maria and Taylor, for hopping on the call. I am going to wrap it up so that we can get this posted, and anybody that wants to share, obviously, I'm sure that we will be getting some emails in regards to this vision and to keep moving forward. And I will keep everybody posted.
Okie dokie.
All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, sounds good, Bridget.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Sarah.